Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Okay, so there was a lot of stuff that went on in this one episode. One of the things that's pretty glaring to me is that I feel like in a lot of ways they I don't know if this was a mistake or this is just intentional, but they managed to really wreck Holly's character, right? This character has been on the show, I'm assuming before I've been born, right? But from the stuff that they've told in the show, she's always been kind of a moral gray area, right? And like Maxie says, she's done some stuff, but her heart has been in the right place, right? And there's a flashback scene, I think. Oh, actually, no, it's not even a flashback scene. There's a scene where Holly and Robert are talking, and, Holly was like, hey, listen, I left her with my grandmother. I did what I had to sit there and do to send Sasha money. And Robert was like, you mean conning, right? And she's like, hey, listen, that's what I do best. And I can't knock her for that. I can't knock her for that, you know? It is what it is. But watching this conversation with Sasha and Maxie, and one of the questions that I had was, she keeps Nita saying that she's lying. She has to be lying. This cannot be true. She's lying. And I'm just like, well, why would she lie for? What would she sit there and make this up for? And also Maxie's like, why would she lie about something that could just be proven? Now, Sasha thinks that she's lying because, hey, listen, if she has no attachment, then she'll go back out with her on the road, and she can try to convince her to go back out on the road to, do different cons and stuff. Because that's apparently how she's always been. And with Sasha, it got so bad that she pretty much, like the way she described it, she was like, she was such a horrible mother that it's almost like she never existed. So, Maxie lightly says, not to sit there and add insult to injury or anything like that, but after her calls, why would you not sit there and tell me this for? And that's the reason. But in all reality, we know it's because it seemed like they just kind of just threw this in there last minute. But, Sasha just has this huge disdain for her mother. And even part of me, I'm just like, here's the thing, that doesn't fully make sense as far as the reason why she would sit there and lie to her. But, for now, I'm just going to go with it and not really sit there and try to pick that apart. Because there's more, I'll use that energy towards other characters in this review. But part of me is surprised that Robert isn't more angry at her. Maybe he's just so used to her lying like she breathes. But even something like this, like, yo, I had a daughter, you didn't sit there and tell me. And part of this retcon is not really making a lot of sense because it's like, she was sitting there saying, well, I didn't tell you because at one point I thought you were dead. Then you're enemies and everything like that and da 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 da. And Robert's like, okay, fine, I understood that stuff and during that time, but there was plenty of other opportunities. Like he names one opportunity with Ethan. How come you didn't sit there and tell me then? Or any other times after that? And her reasoning for not telling him was because she was scared that he was going to hate her. So you decide to be extremely selfish because you are worried about your own fragile emotions of him being angry at you. It's like the points as far as humanity is just starting to go downwards, right? And then She says, and I quote, "The only reason why I told you was because I knew, because Sasha was getting close to Cody and, their cousins, and that's pretty much what forced my hand. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said anything." Do you understand how horrible that is? To sit there and tell this man who, I'm not even going to go there, but to sit there and tell this man that I only told you because those two might have got close to knocking boots. Now, granted, I'm not just saying that she's the devil. She definitely did help out um, with Lucky and everything. But that's some horrible shit right there. So, at first I was like, well, damn, Sasha, you're going a little kind of hard on her. Maxie knew her for a little bit, and Maxie was like, listen, she's not the best, but she's not the worst. But after seeing that, I was like, oh, okay, maybe Sasha has a little bit more of a reason to generally hate her, pretty much. That's some cold shit right there. And I can really get into each and every single way on how messed up that is, especially from a man's point of view. But I'm not going to make this video this long. So Terry tells Laura and Lucky, I'm about to call him Luke for some odd reason, that there's a complication. And the complication is not even a small, minor complication, but the thing that really sucks, right? That she tells them something like that as far as, yeah, about the surgery, there's a small complication. But then she makes them walk all the way to another part, like in her room, like in the office, and sits them down and then tells them that. And I'm like, can you imagine that walk? Can you imagine how? It's like, let's just sit there. I don't know, it's a soap opera, or whatever, right? Will you imagine getting some news like that? Any sort of bad news. But then they don't even tell you what it is. They make you walk for like 2 or 3 minutes. You are thinking worst possible scenarios. That's torture right there. That is absolute torture. And I understand that you want to sit there and, have privacy and everything like that, but for those 2 or 3 minutes that they have to sit there and walk, that was, I can only imagine that's pure agonizing. They say something about a blood clot. It's some sort of medical term that, well, let's just be honest, I was too lazy to write down, but um, it's very complicated. Like, in the surgical team that they have, they never experienced something like this, so that adds even lower success. Then they got to sit there and tell Sam, who, you know, she may back out. She's obviously not going to back out, but like she has the option of backing out and being like, "Hey, listen." It basically is like even if we do the surgery, there's a slim chance that she's going to make it. So Lucky gets Isaiah to do it, obviously, and it's one of those things that was like, man, remember he was just saying that he did that one surgery, it went wrong, he'll never do surgery again. I was like, so how many days until he does his first surgery? So Lucky asks him, could you do the surgery? And he tells him the reason why he stepped back from doing major surgery. And he must have had a real God complex because he promised these people that these parents, whatever, that the surgery was going to go fine, and they didn't make it. And I'm just like, what? Probably it's like, I guess his ego was through the roof. Because even the best of the best, like Patrick Drake, I don't think would have promised that they would have made a full recovery or anything like that. Anyway, Lucky convinces him to do the surgery, so they have a better chance. So Lucky's like, listen, I'm not asking you to guarantee something. I'm just saying that if you can do it, do it. If you feel like it's worth doing, do it. Um, One of the things I will sit there and say about Violet Sendoff, maybe it's just me, I feel like it was handled. I felt like it was handled with so much more care than how they sent Finn away. And granted, I don't know if it was the actor, and I'm not saying that his send off wasn't nice in a sense. It was nothing compared to Violet. Violet, by the end of her send off, she got Lila's China set. Okay, Tracy gave Violet, what is she, 9 or 8? An extremely expensive and something that was near and dear to Tracy's heart, Lila's China set. Listen, I get that she loves her. You can't just sit there and just, I don't know, maybe buy her own China set. I'm just saying. Um, that's a lot to sit there. That's a huge responsibility to sit there and give a 9-year old, or she's 10, even a 10-year old. But she had her send off. Everyone missed her. Um, everyone gave hugs and stuff like that. Even Yuri was, he was gave her a hug and everything. It was probably the most awkward hug I've ever seen in my entire life. I, I don't even want to sit there and describe it. You just watch it yourself. It's really awkward. Um. Anyway, he sent Violet off. Laura was at the church with Kevin. Kevin was like, "Listen, I'm here for you. If you want to yell, if you want to scream, if you want to break things." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! We are in the church. I mean, I guess a hospital church, but we are in the church. Let's not start doing all that." Part of me felt like there's another thing. Part of me felt like, well, there's two parts. Remember when Nina found out from Laura, from Carly that Willow was her daughter, and it was only because last minute and she needed surgery, and Nina didn't get really loud. Like her tone changed, but she wasn't yelling, she wasn't screaming, she wasn't slapping people or anything like that. And I felt like it was because of the church. That's number one. Number two, I think it's just the times that we're in, unfortunately. Like, how often do you sit there and see somebody slap somebody? Seriously. It's been a while, right? The last person I remember somebody getting slapped, and that was Liesl to Liz. And to be honest, I wanted Liz to beat the living bricks out of Liesl, but that was the last time I remember seeing it. It seems so. Oh, it was Drew. It was Drew, and it was Nina. Anyway, um, like I said, Isaiah tells Kevin and Laura that he's going to do the surgery. Also, there's like kind of a subsection I almost kind of forgot to talk about. I won't really get too much into it, but long story short, Isaiah, Liz, and Lucas are sitting there talking about that ventilator going off, and it went off in a way where the alarm didn't sound. So if Isaiah didn't come in there and notice that like it was a lot lower and it didn't, what I'm saying, like as far as like the sound was a lot lower than it should have been, then no one would have caught it in time. And then Lucas, and Liz sees they see Lulu's chart, and Lucas is like, how should I sit there and talk to him? Like, should I sit there and talk to him like a doctor and just give him the straight, cold, hard facts? Or should I just talk to him from a family's point of view? Pretty much it's the same. Should I have bedside manner or not? Which, honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm like, why would that even be a question? You are literally dealing with somebody who's probably going through the worst day of their life, and you're sitting there asking, should I give a bedside manner, or should I just sit there and just tell them the straight, cold hard facts? I don't really understand how that's a thing. Oh, Sam brings Drew and Jason over, tell them about the surgery, and just tell them to step up as dads, and they agree. That's pretty much about it. Dante's feeling a little kind of guilty because one, he's been spending a lot of time talking to Cody, he's been spending a lot of time by Lulu's bedside. And two, I don't really fully understand this part, but he's like, the woman I love is giving a piece of herself to pretty much essentially another woman I love. But I don't know why he feels guilty about that. Sam is somebody that you are in love with. Lulu is somebody that you love, like you love them, but you're not in love with them. Um, so I didn't really understand the confusion with that. Like, why was he feeling guilty about that? You can let me know in the comment section. Damn, there was a lot that was going on in this episode. Um, maybe it's Holly's last day because she does sit there and call Sonny and talking about calls him and talk about like a proposition or whatever. I'm assuming it's to get rid of those diamonds. So people have sat there and said that she's leaving soon or whatever and wrapped up already. So maybe this is her last scene. And a lot of people are just kind of like good, like pretty much like good riddance. And again, I just felt like they kind of ruined her character and in this whole retconning things. You know, I mean, she's not the devil and stuff like that. She did sit there and help, with the rescue of Lucky, but like that's a god awful thing to do to someone to sit there and say, I was just gonna sit there and tell you, I was just gonna sit there and keep this to the grave. And then I only didn't sit there and tell you this because I didn't want my feelings getting hurt. I didn't want to hurt you. No, you didn't want him to look at you with hurt and disappointment in his eyes. You were protecting more of yourself and more of your feelings than you was his. Now, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't think of anything else, but if I forget anything, write in the comment section or come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.